This Shared Thoughts is brought to you by Temo. Who the fuck gets around with a hoodie this big? Well, am I the fucking an elf? Yes, Gandalf. Strider. Anyway, hope everyone's well. Hate to start the Shed Thoughts off on a bit of a negative note, but we've had to cancel the comedy show, the new material night I was gonna hold. I'm not gonna get into it too much because it's my business, but I've had some ongoing medical stuff happening, and ended up in the old hospital the other night. Yeah, got to go and get a bit of slicey dicey going on inside. So, unfortunately, I may be under the knife around when that was all going to happen in about less than 2 weeks. So, yeah, nothing serious. Not the big C or anything like that, as far as they're aware. Just got to nick a few bits out that are no good. So they'll do that. Hopefully, I'll feel better and come back harder than ever. But yeah, going to focus for the next 2 months on this crap, writing some comedy, maybe doing a little short here or there for the channel, a little video here or there of me just getting out and about. Might try and pick up a spot, maybe probably in, I don't know, we'll have to see. But yeah, probably be a month at least until I'm up to doing another spot, going off past experience. So yeah, but a big thank you to the Devonport RSL. That was, yeah, awesome of them to reach out and offer the place. Yeah, really, really sucks that it can't happen right now, but hopefully in a few months we'll see what happens then. Otherwise, I just urge anyone else that's got a similar idea or anything like that to just reach out to them, because that place is popping. The Blues Club, they got karaoke, they do fundraisers there. She's starting to happen. Like, it's starting to become a little bit of a hub in little old Devonport. So get yourself there. And yeah, just a big thank you to Craig, the treasurer there, and the whole place. Lovely people. So yeah, hopefully I can get back and do some comedy for them in the future. I really want to make it up to them. What else? I'm gonna ramble a bit. I just yeah, things have been tough. It's been a bit upsetting with this happening. It's a bit of a setback with the comedy. And life's been busy. The missus is into full-time work for the first time in a decade. She did the kid thing for 10 years. So she's hard at work now out in the community, which is great. I'm really proud of her. She did a couple of years of schooling. Went really hard, and yeah, she's happy, which is really nice. It's fucking hard to find a job that you like. So I really was gunning for her when she expressed an interest in community service. Yeah, it was good to see her go out and get it. Really proud of her. So she's done that. But yeah, it's been busy. It's been a lot of change. We've got a 10-year-old boy. So he turned 10 today, actually. He's at school. Yeah, but it's just, I don't know. This morning's been a bit weird. Like, I've decided yesterday to cut the comedy show. Well, I have to, because I may not be there. That'd be a bit hard to manage. And oddly enough, I was thinking about my mum, and my mum passed away. I'm no good with numbers, so I don't know how many years now. It feels like 5 years maybe, but yeah, she was quite young. She had Huntington's disease and lived a life of not very good habits. Yeah, and then the Huntington's caught up with her, and then a heart caught up with her. So, and things were pretty rocky with my mum, and I didn't have a lot to do with her. But towards the end, we sort of mended fences, and she got to meet a grandson, and got to tell her I loved her just before she died. So that was, yeah, good. That needed to happen. yeah, and I've always forgiven her for how she raised me. She wasn't very good at it, but I grew up in a rough area, and no one really was down there much. A few were. There's some really good parents down there, but yeah. Uh, Anywhere I was knocking around, us kids, our parents weren't role models down there, but luckily my dad snatched me out of there and yeah, raised me right up here at the top of Tasmania, up in the north, hard north. But I got thinking about my mum. And it's weird because even after she passed, I never really felt like she died because you just, go months without talking to her sometimes. It wasn't just she was off doing stuff. I wasn't that interested, especially as a younger man. And she probably wasn't that interested or wasn't thinking of that much because she was very much living her own separate life most of my life. You know, but I was sitting here and it sort of, I realised that I felt like it had been a long time since we'd had that phone call, and it hurt a bit, and I missed her, and I wish I could just grab that phone and reach out and say some stuff because I know that that's the thing. Like my mum, not the best role model, but absolutely supportive on anything you did. Really, like yeah, not always. That wasn't always good. Like she'd be proud of me if I robbed a bank, that sort of stuff. I knew you had it in your son, but yeah, she'd always be proud of you for something. The bar was pretty low at times, but yeah, I just miss. Yeah, I feel like she would have been front and center at any comedy show I was at. Just fuck, she had a loud laugh too. Well, she was a presence, my mum. You heard her coming. Yeah, especially some of her wilder friends that knocked around with her. But yeah, she would have been front and centre cheering, and yeah, it sort of occurs to me as I'm older. When I, even 5 years ago when she passed, I sort of had a bit of a teary at the time, and then got over it, and then had a bit of a meltdown and got over it, and then moved on. But yeah, it just comes back occasionally to haunt you when you're down a parent or down both. God forbid, down both your parents. That must be horrible too. At least I got my dad to lean on. Yeah, but anyway, these shed thoughts took a depressing turn. But I've started getting into fishing lately. I don't know how to fish at all. I've been fishing like probably 20 times in my life, I reckon. But, I've just been like, usually I've just blamed whatever I'm consuming at the time and been like, oh no, I'm too fucked to rig that up. You do that for me. So my mates usually just hand me a rigged line. Or I was a kid and adults were doing it for me. But yeah, the old man never much got into fishing. It wasn't really our thing. So yeah, but it's been cool. Like I realised that I can just go somewhere and peacefully stare at like water stone for 3 or 4 hours, and that gives me a reason to be there doing that. So if I toss a line in and make it look like I didn't really care if I caught anything, but I went over to this little platform that overlooks the sea in the town of Devonport, near where I live, about 10 minutes away, and it set up shop there, and then got this fucking pest of a wasp just into me, like after me from day one, pretty much, which was annoying at best. And then so I was sort of dodging that guy, and he was determined. This what like normally I can let a wasp land on me, it's fine as long. But this fucker was like, it was like he wanted to give me a little kiss. He's like, oh, he wanted to take, I don't know, something out of my mouth, but he was just hovering around here, and it was starting to get a bit. And the edible was kicking in, and I was like, oh, fuck this. And then this guy turned up, and like, good bloke, top bloke, but I wanted to be left alone. That's why I chose that secluded fucking sea platform on a Monday at 10 a.m. when kids are at school, people are at work. I just wanted to fucking chill. I had a podcast on, an old mate comes over and leans on the rail next to me. And I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go. He's like, oh, what do you catch here? And I'm like, I don't know, mate. I don't fish, like, at all. And he's like, oh, like, that took him aback a little bit. And then all of a sudden, he's really leaned in then. He's, right, I'm going to fucking, you could see in his eyes, I'm going to teach this boy. And I'm like, oh, shit. This is the last fucking thing I wanted. And the rods I had were, like, I got them off my grandfather. I went out there to the farm the other day and he said, yeah, have these, boy. Gave them to me. He doesn't get a chance to use them much anymore. So, but one of the rods is super old and fucked, like, but one of them's good. It's one of his newer ones. So I was using that. But I had the secondary rod set up with a different bait on it, me trying to be all fucking fancy. And I think I was using, like, Cabana and Dino Nuggets. Like, and the Dino Nuggets just fell to fucking pieces. So that was a bit funny. But yeah, so old mate wasn't real fucking on with my bait choices, and then he's trying to explain to me different lines, and I'm just like, by this point, I just started packing up. I'm like, oh yeah, nah, thanks for, that really good info. I've actually got to get going though. An appointment, bugger. Wish I could stick around. But yeah, anyway, so I packed up and wandered up the coast a bit further along, and made out like I was heading towards the car park, and then abruptly left turn and further up the coast. Off I wandered with all my chair and everything. And went and set up on some rocks. Proceeded to cut my line to pieces about 5 times. And thought, what the fuck am I, like, standing on a rock, like, that close to the, like, I'm a big man. I'm high. That's a Darwin Award waiting to happen right there, so I just got the fuck off of there. And I went round, walked further along, and found a nice jetty, and there was no one around, so I fished off there for a while. That was quite nice. And I reckon I'll go back. But yeah, didn't catch a fucking thing. Nothing. But felt like I'd sort of got my iron a bit by the end of it. I don't know. And then I got told where I was fishing afterwards was an incredibly shit place to fish because the tide's too rapid. I'm like, but it looks nice. It's fucking... There was like the time, if anyone follows the channel, I got a little short. There's like thousands of little fishes around. I should have just taken a net, scooped them fuckers up. I don't know. And cooked them up. Japanese style, woked them up. Whole fish, just, I don't know. However people eat those little things. I'm not... Yeah. I'm a bit of a beta, I guess, when it comes to man stuff like some of this, but... I really hope my mate, when he comes out of prison, is going to be here to explain all this to me. Me and him have got plans. He wants to do every blokey thing under the sun that we've never done, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll come. That sounds cool. But, one of my best friends is due to get out at the end of the year from prison, which will be awesome. He's been in there for 2.5 years, so that's been a long fucking time. Let's have a little break here for a second. Trying to kick these bloody cigarette things too. They're no good for you, but I'm down to about 2 a day at the moment. I figure I'm putting so much. You can't have too many vices. You've just got to have one, really, at the end of the day. And mine's got to be my medical stuff. And I've got to get rid of the cigarettes and get the belly off. Just a little bit of the belly. But, what else is happening? Motorbikes somewhat looking towards getting repaired. I've got a guy at work that might be helping me out with that. So hopefully I'll be able to get that thing out on the road soon. Got myself a little cruiser. This fucking thing doesn't want light. A little XVS 650 V-Star. But, she's not playing ball at the moment. It's got something wrong with its stator, and when it sits there at idle, it drains all the battery. So I found out the fucking hard way when I was, 50 kilometres from home. With dying battery on my phone. And I was due at an appointment too. thought I'd stop for a quick smoke before, and then my battery died on my bike. So that was fun. So that'd be good to get that thing kicking off. And yeah, we'll get through this health stuff. We'll do the occasional little spot. Then I'll check in with you guys in a couple of weeks, I reckon. It's been good to say hello again. We'll have one blast for the road. Keep it real. Chase that feeling. Love yous.